Will we face gas rationing? Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because what's happening in Victoria is just utterly insane, everyone. Now, homes could run out of gas, and this was a couple of days ago, as the energy market operator declares an emergency. Now let's just have a look here. This is the Australian gas reserves. Look at all this here in Victoria, in the Gippsland Basin, in the Bass Basin, in the Ottawa Basin. How much gas just Victoria has. Australia exports a lot of gas. A lot of it's shooting, or LNG. It's all shooting over here, guys. It's going away from Australia. That's where it's all going. I mean, we can see it. You know what? Let's have a look. Let's look at some live shipping data to see where, what's getting, okay, we'll agree to this, what's getting shipped away from Australia. We zoom in here. What are these ones? These green ones. There you go. Can we see the vessel, a bulk carrier? I'm not paying for that. Does it tell me the cargo? It doesn't tell me the cargo. These are bulk carriers, aren't they? Oh, it's going 11 knots. But you can see all of the resources flowing in and out of Australia. What's the purple ones, the gas ones? They're recreational, tugs and special craft. A tanker, here we go. You can see here all of the, you can see ships flowing in and out of Australia, sending a lot of our resources overseas. Now, if we go here, we'll look at another thing. The Observatory of Economic Complexity. Let's just have a look at some of Australia's exports, and bear with me as it loads up. And here we have the data from the Observatory of Economic Complexity, and we can see our top exports are iron ores, concentrates, and you've got coal, and you've got petroleum gas and other gaseous hydrocarbons. Our third biggest export, everyone. And historical data from 2020, where is it? There you go, 10%, $26.8 billion. Tourism was about $60 billion, so about a third of our tourism sector just in natural gas that we're exporting. Now, a state with significant natural gas deposits, and remember, for some time, until recently, the Andrews government banned exploration for natural gas. Well, they were running out of it during a time when people want to perhaps stay warm. Funny that, isn't it? Homes could run out of gas tomorrow as another shortage hits, with the energy market operator activating emergency measures. Victoria's underground gas storage plant, called Iona, has plunged to record low levels, and the Australian energy market operator has been forced to enact its emergency supply guarantee mechanism. Homes could run out of gas on Wednesday between 5:30 and 7 p.m. So just when you're getting home and maybe you want to have a warm shower or a warm bath or cook food. 9 News reports potentially leaving Australians without heating and with cold showers. Those are the peak hours for energy use. So it's the second time the AEMO has had to issue such a warning in a matter of weeks. This is becoming more and more regular, isn't it? What scares me is this push for, zero carbon by 2050, or even the whole sustainability agenda 2030. It's going to lead us down this path away from using natural and abundant resources that can improve the quality of life of Australians. Having hot, reliable water is critically important to maintaining health. That's one of the issues, actually, in a lot of the remote communities here in Australia, where they were having problems where the young children were going blind. They were getting eye diseases and infections because the hot water units that were being installed out in the middle of nowhere in these little, towns in the middle of the desert weren't fit for purpose for the type of water that they were encountering, and they'd all, calcify up and get destroyed and not work, and you'd have no hot water, and it's harder to clean yourself. Okay, these are some basic things of civilization that we need to maintain, and we're being driven by an ideologically insane path to give things up out of guilt. It doesn't. The numbers don't add up. It doesn't make any sense when you look at it. This is the thing. Are people going to get sick or are people going to die because of these decisions that are being made? And you may be saying, oh, you're being hyperbolic, you're over-dramatizing. No, guys, this is the reality of it. Just having clean, hot water is a bloody modern miracle. It keeps people healthy. The AEMO has activated the gas supply guarantee mechanism to secure additional gas supplies from Queensland-based gas producers to support gas-powered electricity generation in the national electricity market. The AEMO will continue to work with the parties to understand gas supply availability. Challenging generation conditions experienced from early June continue in the national electricity market. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about here, because let's bring up power generation here in the energy market. Because what's happening here, guys, is you've got, here we go, oh, we got some stuff running hot. Okay, this is all the renewable stuff. Oh, 47% wind farm, that's great. 31%, that's good. 28%. So they're running a lot hotter than I'm used to seeing when I go on this map. But see, these guys here, these other power stations in the city, running at 100%. You've got the gas turbine ones that are kicking in to ensure peak load is provided. Because now at 6 o'clock when I'm recording this is the peak load for when a lot of people, they get home, they turn everything on, they get ready for dinner. So all this renewable stuff doesn't cut it, guys. So they're burning gas at the cost of people having access to other things. Australia needs to get off this insane path. Here's a quote. Here's a quote from our Dr. Alan Finkel, Australian chief scientist. If the world wants to reduce carbon emissions by 1.3%, what impact would that make on changing climate in the world? His response that the impact would be virtually nothing. The reason why he was asked about 1.3% is because that's Australia's contribution. It would make no difference. Everything we do will make no difference, except you're going to have people who won't have hot water. You'll have businesses and families that run out of gas. It will affect our quality of life. Life will get more expensive. People will have to do without. We're going to have shittier quality of life in 10 years' time in the future than we will have now or than in the 80s. For nothing. For nothing except global virtue signaling. This has resulted in greater reliance on gas-powered generation and larger than forecast inventory reduction at the Iona gas storage facility in Victoria. The official system security threat will stay in place until the end of September or until gas supply increases in Iona. The AEMO asked gas exporters in Queensland to direct more supplies south. 3 Queensland exporters, Santa, Shell, have agreed to do so. The shortages are being caused by high demand for gas as temperatures plunge, and also by outages at coal plants leading to more gas being needed to create electricity. This is the thing. Why? Oh, but Florian, see, we're having all these outages at coal plants. Look how old these coal plants are, guys, and why there's been no political incentive to invest in them. None. Because people believe all this hogwash that all our energy solutions are going to be provided by renewable. I don't even like the term renewable, because the embodied energy in these things is insane. By alternative energy production technology that isn't suitable for base load because it's intermittent in production. Oh, but just add batteries to it. Look at the embodied energy of these batteries, guys. This is the thing. Neither is better or worse with regards to, well, that's probably not the right term. We need to look at the embodied energy and the opportunity cost of deploying one system to another. Here, because we've invested or pushed investment into all of this infrastructure here that's barely producing anything. And then don't even get me started on all the solar farms that aren't producing anything at peak load. All of this, what's the opportunity cost instead of building 1 or 2 more coal plants? Or having some additional gas exploration to increase capacity? You need to look at the opportunity costs. So for people to feel good and virtue signal, you've got pensioners doing without hot water in Victoria in 2022. This is just getting stupid. People in Sydney were told to reduce energy use in some evenings in June as supplies dwindled. Okay? This is the 21st century. We need power. Energy Minister Matt Keane had to call on people not to use their dishwashers in the early evenings. Such a warning had not been put in place this time around. I mean, look at that. How pathetic is that? A first world civilization. Don't use your dishwashers, guys. On that occasion, the AEMO took the extraordinary step of suspending the electricity market across the nation in a bid to avoid mass blackouts. They should have allowed the mass blackouts. The drastic intervention meant that the AEMO was temporarily in charge of directing supplies from energy providers to the power grid. I don't know why they call it a market. It's not a market. The AEMO said it had taken the unprecedented step amid soaring electricity costs because it had become impossible to continue operating the spot market while ensuring a secure and reliable supply of electricity for customers. So there we go, guys. So let's have a talk about this. I think my opinion here is quite clear. We need to look at the opportunity costs of, well, investing in non-traditional power generation, in established technologies. Coal and gas, I know people don't like it, but it's established. It's well known. We've got abundant resources. I'd rather we invest in that than have a situation where people are told to turn off their dishwashers at night, or they may run out of hot water or gas for cooking. I mean, come on. Everything Australia does is not going to make any difference. You've got Albanese prattling on about how we're going to be a sustainable powerhouse. We're going to be an importing powerhouse. We're not going to manufacture anything here. It'll all be brought from overseas. We've got a not in my backyard crowd. That'll kill any chances of manufacturing. We've got councils that are a pain in the ass to deal with. You've got the unions and everyone demanding very high labour costs. You've got environmental and green and red tape that just gets in the way of everything as well. Then you've got transportation and shipping costs sending things overseas. And you've got economies of scale that we're not going to be able to compete with because of the size of our country. Yeah, we'll be importing everything. Don't kid yourself. Anyway, guys, tell me what you think. This one just annoys me. I'm sick and tired of seeing this. And I feel like we're going to see the same thing for years and years. People buy the bullshit that, oh, look, we're putting a wind farm that can provide power for half a city, yeah, when it's running at 100%, and it never does. It has to reach a certain percentage of output before it even can offset the embodied energy used in its manufacturing. And these things only have a lifespan of 25 years. We'll be around when they start pulling them down. Hey, maybe we'll have to turn the TVs off or computers off at 6 to 8 o'clock so we can't see the news, to save power for the environment. This is just getting ludicrous. It's embarrassing. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. If you want to support the channel, there are a few ways you can. You can financially support us via YouTube or Patreon. You can use our referral links from Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. Buy our pocket squares. Call us if you need an architect. Take care, guys. I'm just getting annoyed. I hate the idea of someone in Victoria having to go without cooking a warm meal or using hot water because of this shit. Okay? It's just going to get worse if we keep going down this path. Guaranteed. And the wealthy won't feel it. Everyone else will.